Okay. So good evening, everyone. I can see there are 4 students currently logged into the session, right? Uh, so first of all, can you tell me how many of you did join the first introductory session for this class? Because in the last week, we were giving a brief introduction about this Scratch, and we were checking how we can access and do some activities in the Scratch. So before we start this session, can anybody tell me the people who joined the last session? Can you raise your hand? Hello, can you hear me? Arul, Rion.
So this is Rion.
Hmm.
This is Zoom. You can raise your hand like in Microsoft.
Okay. I'm really sorry about that then. I think that option is not available maybe in here. Right, okay. We'll see. Right. So anyway, so in the last week, that was our introductory session. So actually today is the day where we are going to start our Scratch course. Sorry, from the beginning, right? So I think some of you were there in the last introductory session and some of you were not there, right? So to keep everything complete, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can, I'm going to start from the beginning, right? I'm going to show you how we can start working on Scratch, right? Okay. So here's the thing. So during these sessions, the main conducting language is going to be in English, right? So but if you have any questions regarding the things I'm going to tell you in here and I'm going to show you in here, you at any given moment you can simply unmute your microphone and ask your questions, right? It doesn't matter, right? And then again, the next thing is when you're asking these questions, you don't have to, if you are comfortable using English, then that's fine. If not, you can ask those questions in Sinhala as well, right? Okay. So first of all, now I know Rion can hear me. So what about others? Can you hear me as well? Pransitu,
Yes, teacher.
Dharani. Okay, that you can hear me, right? Dharani?
Sir, I am Dharana.
Dharani. Okay, I'm sorry. Right, Dharani. Okay, Rion and Dharani can hear me.
I am Dharana.
Dharana.
Yes.
Okay. So your name says something else. Okay, I'm really sorry about that, right? Dharana. Right, okay. Rion and Dharana can hear me. What about Pransitu and Tarul? Can you guys also hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tarul can hear me. So Ransitu, can you also hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So everybody can hear me. So that means we can start this session, right? Okay. So we'll start from the beginning. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can access this Scratch, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. So in my case, I'm using Chrome web browser, right? So as you can see, I'm using Chrome in here, right? So this icon. So in your computers, maybe you have Firefox, maybe you are using Microsoft Edge, or else if you are using a MacBook, you may be using Safari, right? So all you need to do is go to Google and then type Scratch, Scratch, type Scratch and then press enter. So basically I'm doing a Google search, right? Right. So this is the output I'm going to get when I Google that word, right? Then all you need to do is simply click on this link. So when I'm explaining these steps, if you miss something, quickly tell me, right? So then I can tell you the steps you need to take, right? So go to Google, type Scratch, and then click on this first link. So when I click on that, it's going to give me an web page like this. Okay, so did everybody get this web page? Dharna, Tarul, Rion?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Right, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 people got it. What about others? Okay, so I hope you guys got the same page like I do, right? Okay, so since this is our first day, we'll quickly jump into creating some stuff in this Scratch, right? Because starting from the next week, definitely we are going to create a new account in here, right? Because from time to time, we need to save our progress, right? So because of that, I'm going to show you how we can create an account in this Scratch website, right? But since this is our first day, we are not going to create an account, but instead we are going to quickly jump into Scratch interface and we'll see how we can create some stuff, right? So when I say stuff, I'm talking about something like a game or something like an animation. Likewise, we'll create something today, right? Okay. So in this website, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this create button. So you can see up here, we have this create, right? So when you click on that, it's going to show me this interface, right? So everybody get into this point? Any questions? So in some computers, this might take a little bit of time, right? But in maximum, it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds.
Sir, I am the RNA.
Yes.
I am on my way to Polonnaruwa. Can you send me the recording?
Sure, Dharna. So these recordings will be also available for you. So I think definitely there will be a WhatsApp group as well for this session, right? So for this group, right? So Dharna, can you send me your phone number so I can add you to that WhatsApp group? So through that WhatsApp group, we will be sharing these recorded links. That's why I'm asking for a phone number. So is it possible to send me a phone number, Dharna?
Note 768. Note
Okay,
Note 768.
give me a minute, Dharna. Just give me a minute. I'm noting it down right now. Okay, Dharna, can you tell me the phone number again? Note 7.
Note 768.
Note 76.
297.
297.
487.
487. Dharna, I think I'm missing one number. So just to be safe, can you send me a message through the Zoom in the chat? Because I think I'm missing a number from your phone number. That's why. Okay, so for other students, we'll just wait a minute until we'll resolve this Dharana's issue, right? Okay, Dharana, I just got your phone number. So I will add your number to the WhatsApp group, right? Okay. Right,
Okay,
Dharana, you
sir.
can leave now then. Okay. Safe journey, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'd see you. Right. Okay. So now we'll move on. Move on. Right. So others. So now we have this interface right here. Right. So what you can do is, if you want, again, you can play this video and see what this is all about, right? So just in case I'm going to play this, I will play this video and show you the content, because this is not a very long one, right? This is going to be a very short video, right? So because of that, I'm going to play it during this session, right?
You can make your own stories and animations. Let's start by grabbing a move block. We can click the block to run it. There are many other blocks to choose from. Check out the different categories. Let's go to the sound category and grab a play sound until done. I'll snap this onto our move block. When do we want these code blocks to run? Add an event block on top to start the code. I'll add the when green flag clicked block. You can easily reorder or delete these blocks at any time. Add as many characters as you want to your project and code each one. Check out the tutorials page for ideas and inspiration.
Right, okay. So what you just saw is a video about the things you can do inside this Scratch, right? Okay. So before we move on, first of all, I need to give you a brief idea about the things, the items we have in this interface, right? So when we have an idea about things we have in this interface, then we can start our work using that knowledge, right? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window, right? Click. Right, so now that window is closed, right? Okay, so in your left hand side, you can see there are some colorful circles, right? So it says, the first one says motion, and then this one says loops, this purple one says sound, events, control. Likewise, you have several set of buttons, right, or labels. So what I'm going to do is, when I click on these labels, you can see the list in this side is changing according to the label I am clicking on. Can you see it? So I really encourage you to do the same thing as well. So you can go to this Scratch, and then when you click on these things, you can see the items in this side are changing. Can everybody see it? Rion, Tarul, Fransitu? Okay, what about others? Fransitu, Rion? Okay. Fransitu can see it. Rion? Can you also see these things? Right, okay. Right. So again, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Please ask for me, right? Okay, so simply unmute your microphone and tell me that you have a question, or else you can type your question and send it to me through the chat as well, right? But I think the most easiest thing to do is simply unmute your microphone and ask the questions, right? Okay. Right. So in this side, actually, what you are seeing is you are seeing code blocks, right? So in here, what you are seeing is code blocks. So let me type that name. So in here, I'm going to open up a notepad, code blocks, right? So these are the code blocks I was talking about. So as you can see, there are so many blocks of codes in here, right? And the next best thing is these code blocks have different colors as well, right? So definitely at the end, when we create something, our code is going to look very vibrant, right? Because there are so many colors. There's going to be so many colors in our code, right? Okay, so these are the code blocks we have, right? So when you are going to create a program, what you can do is you can bring these code blocks into this area right here, right? So you can see I'm moving my cursor along the border of this section, right? So this is the space given for us to make our programs using these blocks, right? So for example, if I want to have this block, this first block in my workspace, so this is going to be my workspace, right? What I can do is I can simply click and grab this block to my workspace, just like that. Simply click on this block, drag it here and drop it, right? So in here also I can move it again. See, I'm changing its position. And then again, if you want to delete something, all you need to do is simply grab this block again and drop it in this side. See, that's all you need to do. So everybody try this one out now. Grab a block, any block you want, right? So in my case, I'm using this block, right? So if you want, you can grab something else. So try to grab something and drop them in here. And then again, try to delete those blocks as well. And if you try all these two, then tell me that you tried them out, right? Try to place some blocks in here and then try to delete something. To delete it, drop it again here. So did everybody got that? Okay, right. So then instead of focusing on these simple things, now we'll move on to creating something exciting, right? Okay, so the first thing we can notice is we have cat in here, right? So this is an image of a cat, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this image, right? So you can see in here, the name says this name refers to this image, right? So you can see it says sprite, right? Sprite 1, right? So in this scratch interface, when we place something in our output like this, right? So we are going to name this image as a sprite, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this image from this interface. So to delete this image, all I need to do is you can see down here, this image is available. And then again, on the top right hand corner, you can see there's a icon of a dustbin, right? So there's this icon of this bin, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to click on that bin. So when I do that, you can see now my sprite is gone, or else the cat image is now gone. So tell me, did everybody deleted that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about others? Did you manage to delete the cat image? Rion, Francito?
So this is Rihanna. I deleted it.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Right. Okay. So now we don't have anything in here, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a new character into this workspace, right? So before I placing that one, let me quickly tell you what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to place an image in here, right? So again, it's going to be an image of a cat, right? But you can choose whatever you want once you see the list, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my arrows in my keyboard to control this image, right? So we'll see how we can do that now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to place an image here, right? So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this image right here. So you can see when I move my cursor on top of that button, you can see it says choose a sprite, right? So in here you have 4 options: upload sprite, and then surprise, and then paint, and then choose a sprite, right? So from here I'm going to click on this option. Move your cursor to this label and then click on this search icon, right? So when you click on it, you can see it's going to show you a long list of images, right? So as you can see, we have a duck in here, we have a fish, then we have a fox, right? So we have so many images which we can bring down to our stage, right? Or to our workspace. So what I'm going to do is instead of selecting something like this, right? So I'm going to select this cat flying image. So actually you can select any image you want, right? So take your time. I will give you about 1 or 2 minutes, right? So you can scroll down in here and then select any image you want, right? So actually in here, it is showing me all the images available. So if you click on this animals, it's going to show you only the animal images. If you click on this people, you can see it's showing you images of the people, right? And this fantasy, dance, music. So as you can see, there are so many options to choose from, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this animals, or you can click on all as well. Somehow I'm going to select this cat flying image, right? So at the same time, you can see our original image is also here, right? Can you see it in here? We have our original cat as well, but I'm going to select this flying cat, right? So take your time and select an image you like, and then tell me the image name you chose. So I already told you the image I'm going to select is cat flying. So if you are going to select the same image, that's fine as well, right? So once you select an
So
image,
this is Rion.
yeah,
I chose bat.
bat. Oh, okay, right, awesome. Okay, Rion choose the bat. And then what about others? Okay, maybe they are still choosing. Right, okay, take your time and select an character and then tell me what did you choose. So I am selecting cat, the flying cat, and Rion selected bat.
Sir, I select 2 pictures.
Okay, totally fine. But the thing is, in the beginning, we are going to select program only one image, right? So if you like, you can select 2 images as well. That's okay. Okay, Binath. So what are the 2 images you selected?
A puppy and a car.
Puppy and a car. Right. Okay. So Binath selected 2 images. Right. So what about Tharul? So did you select an image or do you need more time? Tarul. Okay, we'll wait a little bit longer then. Maybe Tarul is still selecting some. Right, Tarul. So did you select an image? Okay, it seems for some reason Tarul seemed disconnected and connected again, right? Tarul, can you hear me?
I choose crab.
Crab. Oh, okay, right. Okay. That's good then. Right. Okay. So now everybody selected the images they want, right? Okay. So I'm going to click on my one, cat flying. Right. So when you select this image, you can see this image is going to appear in this end, right? So we are going to call this area a name, right? So we are going to tell this area stage, right? So these images are going to appear on this stage, right? So this is the place where we are going to do our coding, and this is the place where our cat is going to do its work, right? So this is the stage of our cat, right? Okay. So what I need to do now is I want this cat to move around this stage depending on my keyboard input, right? So when I'm going to press the arrow keys on my keyboard, what is going to happen is this cat will move around this stage, right? So before we do anything, try to press your arrows in your keyboard and check whether this cat is moving around. So right now I'm pressing my keyboard arrows, right? But still this cat is not moving, right? So did you check that? Did you notice that? Try press your keyboard arrows and check whether this cat is moving or not. It's not moving, right? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, right? So everybody, so you guys also can do this thing along with me, right? So in here, I'm going to go to this events list, right? So you can see under events, I have these things right here. Ransido, sorry, I can't hear you clearly. Can you tell me your question again?
We cannot do it. It's not moving.
It's not moving, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. That's because we haven't created any program in this end, right? So now we'll see how we can change, how we can create a program. So when we press our keyboard buttons, this cat will move, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this events, right? And then I'm going to select, we'll say, right. I'm going to select this second block, right? The first thing is this one. I'm going to select this second block. So I'm going to bring it here and I'm going to drop it here. So as you can see, now this second block is on my coding space. So this code, this block says when space key pressed. So did everybody find this block? Ransitu, Rion, Tarul, did everybody got this block? I selected the second block under this events.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tarul got that one. What about Rion and Ransitu?
Sir, this is Rayon. I got it.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So what about Ransitu? Okay, Tarul. So actually you made a game as well, right? So
Okay,
actually you
sir.
have gone far. Right. Okay. That's
Okay.
good actually. Okay. So definitely we are going to create a game as well. So during the so once you create these games, you guys can show me all your creations, right? So I really like to watch the things you have created by yourself, right? So for today, we'll go with these things, right? So at the end, then I'm going to check all your works, right? Because I'm pretty sure you are so creative than me, right? So that's for sure, right? So you can see I placed this block in here, right? And then you can see in here we have a list, right? So right now it says space, but we have an arrow in here. So when I click on it, you can see it's going to give us a long list, right? So you can see when I scroll it down, we have all the letters in the alphabet and we have all the numbers on our keyboard, right? So you can see there's a long list. So currently you can see we have a tick in front of this space, right? So what I need to do is, first of all, I am going to select this right arrow, right? So actually you can select any up, down, right, left, any arrow you want, right? But for time being, I'm going to select this right arrow. So when I select that, you can see now the code block says when right arrow key press, right? So actually what I need to do is when I press my right arrow key, what needs to happen? This cat should move this direction, right? So it should move in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I need to put that block in here as well. So what I can do is then I can go to this motion tab, the first button available in here. So I'm going to click on this motion, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to this motion and then you can see you have so many options under this motion, right? So Rion, okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate, please ask, right? Okay, so from here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this first block available in here, right? So after that, we are going to change this one, but for time being, for now, I am going to select this move block, right? So now it says 10 steps, right? Okay. Now press.
Sir, this is Rayon. I didn't hear you.
Okay, why is that? Okay, so what I did was I placed. So did you get the? Did you place this two code blocks in your workspace? So first I went to events, and then I used this second code block when space key pressed, and then I using this drop down I selected this one into right arrow, right? And then I clicked on this motion and then this move 10 steps. Can you see it? I dragged it here and dropped it right underneath this yellow block. So once you do that, now try to press your right hand arrow key and see what's going to happen. Like this. So now you can see when I press my right hand arrow key, it's going to move right hand side, right? So did everybody get this?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I think Ransitu, any questions?
No.
Right. Awesome. So did you manage to get this code look like this?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Good. So is your sprite is moving now to the right hand side when you press the right
Yeah.
arrow? Awesome.
Yeah.
So what about Rion and Tarun?
Yes.
Okay. So as you can see now, my cat can move to the right hand side when I press my arrow key. Right. Okay. So now, but still, my cat is not responding for the other arrow keys. If I press up and down, so now you can see I'm pressing my up and down arrow keys right now, but my cat is not moving. And when I press my left arrow key, still it is not moving, but it responds only to the right arrow key. So I'm pretty sure now you know what's the reason, right? All you need to do is again go to these events, again take one of these block, right? And then in here, instead of space, select on this drop down list, and then I am going to select on this left arrow, right? So basically I am doing the same thing again, right? So again I am going to place one of this block in here, right? So but I'm not going to change the number of steps, right? So now you can see I have two identical code segments. In here you can see I have one block, and then again I have another set of block, right? So you can see in both code blocks I have 10 steps. The only difference is this key. In here I have right arrow, but in this code segment I have left arrow. Can you see it? Everyone, can you see the difference? Can you spot the difference in these two code blocks? Ransitu, Rion, Tarul, did you notice the difference in these two?
Yes, sir, this is Rion.
Yes,
Hmm,
Rion.
I still didn't do this. What do you have to press?
Sorry.
What do you have to press? Because I didn't
Right.
hear
Okay.
you.
So actually what I was doing is previously my cat was responding only to my right arrow key, right? So what I did was I added a new code segment in here. So as you can see in my code segment, I have two code segments. In my coding space, I have two sets of code blocks. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can anybody tell me what the difference between these two code blocks? I already said the difference. So can anybody tell me what is the difference? In the first glance, it seems these two are identical, but actually they are not. There's a small difference. Who can spot that difference? Anyone? Rion, Fransitu, Tarul? Who can tell me the difference between this code block?
Sir, this is Rion. I can see the difference.
Okay, what is the difference between these two?
The first one is move 10 steps and the other one is a different number.
So actually in here, I'm using the same number. So in here, it says 10 steps. So in here also it says 10 steps, right?
All right.
Yes.
About when it's this one, it's the right
Yes.
or left arrow. This is
Yes.
a
That's
different
the
arrow.
difference between these two code segments. So as you can see in here, it says right arrow, but in the other code segment, in here it says left arrow, right? So that is the difference between these two code segments. In here it says right arrow. In here it says left arrow, right? So all the other things are same. The only difference is these names, right arrow and left arrow, right? So now, so did everybody get these two code blocks? So I'm pretty sure Rion is done, right? So what about Ransitu and Tarun? So now when I press my keyboard, when I press right arrow key, it is moving to the right. And when I press left arrow key, still it is moving to the right. Okay, why is that? That should not be the case, right? Because when I press right arrow key, it should move right like this. But when I press left arrow key, still it is moving to the right. So this is not correct, isn't it? We need to change this, right? So can anybody suggest what we can do in here? So if you have some previous knowledge, Scratch experience, then you might be having the answer. But if not, don't worry, I'm going to give the answer as well. So can anybody tell me what should I do? So when I press right arrow key, it is moving to the right. And when I press left arrow key, still it is moving to the right. So maybe you are not familiar with using these negative numbers, right? So before I move on, can you guys tell me in which years you are in? Whether you are in grade 5 or grade 6 or grade 7. So shall we start with Rion? So the reason for asking is because depending on that knowledge, I can explain some stuff more. That's why. So are you all familiar with these negative numbers?
Yeah. This is Rian. I'm very familiar.
Right, negative numbers. Okay, so what about Ransitu and Tarun? Are you also familiar with the negative numbers?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, Ransitu is not familiar. So what about Tarun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tarun is also familiar, right? Okay. So let me show you what I'm going to do, right? Okay, so since two of us are familiar with these negative numbers, instead of explaining all these things again, I will quickly show you how we can change these behavior, right? So as of now, my problem is when I press right arrow key, it is moving to the right. But when I press left arrow key, still it is moving to the right, as you can see. So in order to change this behavior, what I can do is, all I'm going to do is simply I'm going to select, go to this code block right here, right? And then in this move 10 steps, instead of saying 10, I'm going to type -10, right? So in front of this 10, I simply type this small dash, -10. Now once you change this number, click somewhere in here and then see what happens. Then check whether your image is moving correctly or not, and tell me whether it is working or not.
you click stage, are there any motion blocks?
Sorry.
When you click stage, are there any motion blocks?
The first word is not clear for me, Rion. Can you tell?
When you click stage,
Stage.
this stage thing,
Yes.
are there any motion blocks in the motion list?
So that means when you click on this stage, you want this character to do something. If that's the case.
I mean, there are no motion blocks when you click the stage and go to the motion one.
On the stage, there are no such thing like that, Rion.
I mean, when you go to this label list but before you go on to, this button stage there, this.
Rion can මෙන්න මෙතන මේ දකුණු වම් පැත්තේ තියෙන මේ list එකද?
Yeah.
ඔව් ඒ list එකේ
stage එකේ මේ stage කියලා button එකේ බොවම එතන motion blocks මේ වම් පැත්තේ list එක මේ motion label එකේ motion blocks තියෙනවද?
මං හිතන්නේ රියොන් කියන්නේ මේ බටන් එකද නැත්නම් වෙන මොකක් හරි බටන් එකක් ගැනද රියොන් කියන්නේ. දැන් මේ motion එකේ මේ ඔක්කොම blocks තමයි රියොන්නේ. As you can see, all these things are blocks. You can drag these things.
But what about here when you press the stage one?
Rion, can you share your screen and show me the button you are talking about? Then I can give you a... Yes. So I'm going to... So for time, I'm going to...
How do I share my screen?
Right, okay. I just gave you the permission. So let me stop my screen sharing. Right. So now you can share your screen and then show me the button you are talking about.
Okay.
Okay, Rion, now you can share your screen.
Okay. Now I can. This one?
Okay, Rion. So actually that's not that's not related to your programs, right? So that is actually just there to give you some information about the stage itself. So that doesn't contain any motion blocks or anything. So if you want to access motion blocks, definitely you have to select them from the left hand side. So on the right hand side, actually it looks like a button, but actually it is not. Because that panel is just there to give us some information about the stage itself. Stage එක ගැන විස්තර තමයි එතනදී තියෙන්නේ. එතන ක්ලික් කරාට අපිට මුකුත් motion blocks නම් එන්නේ නැහැ. So definitely I will show you what we can do with that as well, right? So actually I can see you have changed your backdrop, right? Okay, we'll see that one as well. Okay, Rion, actually I can see you haven't used any motion blocks in your code, right? So in here, what you can do is you can go to this motion. So click on this motion. Okay, and then again, I can see you have deleted your sprite as well, isn't it? Because in my case, I have this flying cat.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so you know what to do, right? So you can click on this button to add a character, and then you can go to the motion and do the stuff, right?
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks now.
Okay, so first of all, you have to add the sprite in here. Then these blocks will appear, right? Okay. Okay, right. So let me, okay, you have your bat. Okay, so everybody can show me what you have created, right? So I'm just helping this Rion just now, right? Okay, Rion. So now you can see you have bat is selected, right? So you can see on top of here, this bat is also available in here, right? So that means now you have selected the bat, right? So all the codes you are going to create are now belongs to the bat, right? Okay, Rion. Now go to this events. Now click on the events. Right. Now place two of these blocks in the workspace. Drag it. Yes. Drop it in here. Okay. Then take one again. Yes, that's good. Right. Okay. Now go to motion, the top one. Right. From there, take the first block. Right. Place it there. Right. Then take again and place it in here. Awesome. Right. Now change these buttons. Change this one into a right arrow. Up arrow, down arrow. The next one is right arrow. No, select right or left. Right. Okay. So in the next one, you have to select the left one, isn't it? Right. Left arrow. Okay. So now still we have to do one more change. So go to this left arrow in here, change this one into -10. There's a dash on your keyboard, right? චූටි ඉරි කැල්ලක් තියෙනවා නේද keyboard එකේ. Right, that's the one I was talking about. So now type 10. No, that minus sign is also have to be there. Okay, now type that dash. Right, okay. Okay, now, okay, Rion, now press your arrows and see how your bat is behaving. On your keyboard, you have left and right arrows, right? Okay, when you press right, it is moving right. When you press left, it is moving left. That's awesome, right?
Wow, cool.
Okay, so keep in mind in here, you have to type minus sign or else you have to type -10, right? So just to fun, simply delete this negative sign and see what happens. So in here, change this number into simple 10. Simply remove the negative sign. Type 10 and then see what happens. Okay, now press left and right both. And then see what happens. Okay, without the negative 10. Okay, keep it as it is. Now check what happens. See, as you can see, no matter which button you are pressing, still your character is going to the right, isn't it? Okay, so you can change this behavior by simply adding negative sign, that simple dash in here. Right, Rion?
Okay.
Right, okay, awesome, Rion. So again, if you have any sort of questions, don't hesitate, please ask, right? So I will help you to come up, solve those problems. Okay, so now Rion is up to date. So, okay, Tharul, okay, now you can share your screen and show me what you have done. I think you have something to show me as well, isn't it?
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yes.
this is Rion. How can I stop sharing?
Okay, on top of your screen, you have that link, right? Okay, so let me stop your screen sharing. So I think from this end also I can do it. Right, okay. Okay, Tarul.
No.
So now you can share your screen and show me what you have done. So don't worry, if you have any problems in your screen, then I will guide you. Okay. Right. Okay. Awesome. So I can see you have created a game, right?
Yes, sir. Made chase game.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So actually, I was also going to show you how to do something like that. So we'll make things more interesting. So still I can see there are some small. So actually I can see your score is increasing very rapidly, right? So when the image is on top. Okay, so actually despite that problem, actually you have done a good job. So that's awesome. So actually in this session also we are going to create something like this. Right? Okay, actually this is awesome. This is good job. Yes, this is awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay. So others, so actually during these sessions also we are going to create some games like this. Okay. So you don't have to worry. So I will tell you all the steps you need to take and the reasons for selecting those specific tabs. Right. Okay, Tarul. So Tarul, okay. So what about Transitu? So can you also share your screen and show me what you have done? Right. Okay. You have this puppy, right? Okay. So you have all these two code blocks, right? Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, Ransit, that's good. Right. Okay. So now we'll continue along with the other stuff we have to do in our class, right? Okay. So let me share my screen again. Right. Ransido, I'm going to stop your screen sharing. Right. Okay. Share screen. Screen. Okay. So now when we press our arrows, we can move our cat, right? But still, you might notice when we press up and down arrows, my cat is not moving up or down, right? So let me show you how we can make our cat or our character. So in some, so they have a bat and then there was a puppy, right? So now we'll see how we can move that character up and down in our stage as well.
Bounce a ball or something else.
Right. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this events, right? And then I'm going to place this block onto my workspace, right? So in here, I'm going to select up arrow. So again, I placed one of these keys, right? Then I selected up arrow, right? Okay. So now what I want to do is when I press up arrow key, I want this character to go up, right? So definitely this is going to be available in this motion tab. So when I click on this motion and when you go through these blocks, you can see there's no such thing as go up or down, right? So there's no such thing. So what I'm going to do is instead of using this move or anything else, I'm going to use this block right here. So you can see I have this block which says change Y by. So did everybody got this one? Can everybody see this block? Change Y by. So in here it says 10, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring this block and I am going to place it in here, right? So you might be wondering, what does this Y mean, right? So it says change Y by 10. So whatever this Y is, it's going to change it by 10. But the problem is we still don't know what this Y is. right? So in computers, not just in Scratch, in computing, when you have a stage like this, right? So in here, since we are using Scratch, we have our stage in here, right? So in this stage, when we are going to move something from left to right, so that means from left to right. So if you're going to move something from in this direction, right? So we are going to tell it this is X direction, right? Or else this is X axis. Okay, so my X doesn't look very good, right? But still this is an X, right? So in computing and in this Scratch program, this side is known as X, right? And then if we want to move our, so now actually what we need to do is we need to move our cat on the other direction, right? So in computing, in this Scratch program, this direction is going to be known as Y direction, right? So I'm going to name it as Y, right? So in here we have X. So let me type it. In here I have X. And in here we have Y, right? So this is how Scratch is going to know which direction is I'm referring to. So now you know this end, this vertical direction is known as Y, right? So you can see in this block also, I have typed Y in here, right? So what so in here, so now since you know how these axes, how these directions are referred in this Scratch programming language, when somebody says change Y by 10, Scratch knows we need to do some movements in this direction, right? Okay, so we'll quickly do that. We'll quickly check how this is going to work, right? So everybody, place these two code segments on your workspace and see what happens. So what I did was I go to this events, then I selected this code block right here. Then I changed my key to up arrow. Then I selected change Y by. So I will mark it so you can see clearly the one I selected. So this is the one I selected. So everybody quickly create this third block. So this is my third block. This is the new block I created. And then tell me what's going to happen. Then once you create this block, press the up arrow key on your keyboard and see what happens. So I think for Tarul, you already know what these things are, right? So Ransitu and Rion, can you tell me quickly create this block and can you tell me what happens to your sprite? What happens to your character when you place this sort of key combination on your workspace?
Sir, that image is going to big. That image. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Rion. Okay. Ransitol. Okay. Okay. So first, right. Okay. Ransit, first we'll ask from Ransitu because he was starting there. Ransitu, you were saying what happened in your image?
Grow bigger. Grow bigger.
Your image, your image will be bigger.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see what happened. Okay, so what about Rion?
After that change y by 1, what do you have to put other?
This is all, Rion, this is all you need to do. So only change I did was, okay, so actually what should happen is, when this code block is like this, sorry, I'm not sure who's speaking. Is it Transit or Rion?
Rion.
Rion, okay. Okay, so I think Ransitu's one, we'll come to Ransitu's screen and see what happened, right? So actually what should happen is, when you have this code block, now I'm pressing up arrow key, you can see now my cat is moving up, but still my cat is not moving down, right? So we'll check that one later, right? Okay, Rion. So what about your program? So is it working as intended?
Who?
No, okay. So we'll so can you share your screen and show us? So everybody of each of us can look into Rion's screen and see what's wrong in there. So everybody can give your opinion about this code, right? Okay, Rion, can you share your screen with us?
Sir, excuse me, sir, there's nothing wrong about it.
Uh-huh. Okay, then that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Then that's awesome, right? Okay. Okay, so Ransit, what about you? Can you share your screen and share with us? Ransitu? Right, okay. Okay, I see what happened in here. So I can see in your program, you have selected a different block, isn't it? Because in here, the color is purple, right? I was selecting something from the motion. So actually you need to select yes. That's the code block you need to have. So what you can do is yes. Delete that one.
So this is Rion.
Yes, Rion.
In the up of in the top of the change y by what code block there needs to be?
On top of the change y.
Huh?
Okay. Okay. Actually, this is the code you need to have.
What?
So, so as you can see in Ransitu's code. Okay, now Ransitu's code is fine. Okay, now that is good. So the first code block should be when up arrow key pressed and then change y by 10. Right, Ransitu? Now your code works fine, right? Okay, Rion. So what was your question?
On the top of this change y by what there should be.
Okay, so in the event section, this second code block should be there on top of change y by. So it says
Okay,
here when space key pressed. So once you place that one, you have to select this drop down and select up arrow.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Okay. So in Ransitu's case, I think now the dog image is a little bit bigger, right? So everybody, so if you can look at here in this interface, you can see down here you have a separate part called size, right? So in here it says size. Currently my value is set to 120, right? So by default, this value should be 100. So if you type 100 and press enter, you can see we are going to get the original size of this image. So if you type something like 200 and press enter, you can see my image is now doubled in size. right? So originally this value should be 100. So I'm going to type 100 in here and then press enter. That's it. So by changing this number right here, you can change the size of your image or size of your character, right? Okay, right. So as of now, our character is moving up, left, and right. So now we need to change the motion of this character to respond to downside as well, right? So when I press down arrow key, still nothing is happening, right? So can you look at these code segments, the things we have created so far, and can you do the rest? So now what I need to do is when I press down arrow key on my keyboard, my character should move down, but still that is not happening. So can you do that by your own? So I will give you about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to do this, right? So during that 5 minutes, can you try to create the code blocks so that when I press my down arrow key, my character will go down. So I will give you 5 minutes. Try to create that one. So when you are done with that, please tell me, right? So if you think it is too difficult, still okay, tell me. So I will show you how to do that.
Sir, I put the minus, then it's going down.
Is it working now? Right. Okay. Awesome, Ransit. Right. Okay. Rion, what about you? Okay. So definitely I'm going to show all of you how it's going to be done. Okay. So now Ransit is already done it. Sarul also had done that one. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Still we have time to figure out. So still we have about 3 minutes. Right. Okay. So once after 3 minutes, I will show you how to do that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Rion. Yes.
This session is a good one because now I know a little bit of this yeah, coding.
Okay. Actually, that's awesome. I'm very happy
I
to
know
hear
a
that.
little. Now I know 2 bit. Now I'm all.
That's so good to hear you. So actually you might not notice. So actually you are doing this scratch in here, right? So actually this looks like a very beautiful programming language. But underneath, actually in the later sessions, I will show you the actual codes you have run, right? So in here you are simply dragging and dropping and creating all these programs, right? But at the end of the, not today, in the upcoming sessions, I will show you the real codes you have created, right? So definitely, I'm pretty sure you are going to get surprised about the programs you have created. I mean, I will show you the equivalent code segments in other programming languages, right?
Okay.
Right, okay. So if you feel confident, then that's what we want. That's awesome.
Okay.
So happy to hear that. Right, okay. Right. So I will show you how to create this, the next code block, right? So again, what I'm going to do is I need to respond, make this cat respond to my down arrow key. So again, I am going to select this second code block when, so originally it says when space key pressed, right? But by looking at this drop down list, we can figure out we have so many options down here, right? So I'm going to bring this block into here, and then I'm going to change this one into down arrow, right? Okay. Then I'm going to move on to this motion, right? So previously we were using this change y by 10, right? So again, I'm going to change the same, get the same block, change y by 10, right? And then just like we did for this left hand side, in here also, when I press down arrow key, I need this character to move by -10. Change y by -10, right? So that's the only difference, only change I'm going to do for this motion block, right? So you can leave this 10 as it is without this minus sign as well and check what's going to happen. But in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type -10. And now when I press my down arrow key, you can see my character is moving down, right? So now once you have all these 4 code blocks on your workspace or in this coding area, now you can notice your character is responding to all your 4 arrow keys, right? So so now tell me, is this working for everyone?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Rion.
What key blocks you have to put, because I can see quick properly because my computer is connected to a monitor.
Okay, so if I increase my size, can you see it now?
Okay, now I can see when right arrow key pressed.
Oh, actually, that's the first code segment I created, but this is the last one. Let me draw a boundary around it.
Then I can see when left arrow key pressed, move -10 steps. And then I can see when up arrow key pressed.
Yes. And the last one?
By change y by 10. In the last one, I can see when down arrow key pressed, change y by -10.
Yes, it says change y by -10.
Okay, now I can do it.
Yes, now you can check whether your character is working as we need.
Okay, but I didn't put the blocks yet.
Ah, you didn't put the blocks. Ah, okay, right. Okay, Rion. So definitely these recordings are going to be shared with you through the WhatsApp group, which will be created, right? So then you can at any given moment you can download these videos and refer to these videos as well, right? So you don't have to worry about missing anything. So because the thing is, unlike other classes, in this class we are not going to write any notes, right? So that's the difference in programming. When it comes to programming, we are not going to write any notes, right? We are going to think and think and think, and we are training our brain to think like a programmer, right? So that's what we are doing when we are create these programs in Scratch, right?
Excuse me, sir, is it make a rubber?
Sorry, Ransidu.
Is it make a rubber, sir?
Your question is not clear, Ransidu. What is it? Okay, there's a message.
How we learning how to a rubber?
How to use
How
a
to
robot?
make a rubber? Yes.
Does that mean you want to create a robot? Are you talking about the robot character in here? Are you talking about that robot, or do you need to create an actual robot?
Actual rubber. Actual rubber.
Okay, Ransu. So actually the thing is, if you want to create an actual robot, then you need to have some programming knowledge, right? So by doing this Scratch programming, what we are doing is we are learning the basics of this programming, right? So actually once you finish these coding, once you learn these coding concepts, right, then you can learn how to create actual robots, right? Because there's a separate class as well, which shows you how you can create robots. But the thing is, in that class, they are going to use a different programming language, right? So when you are creating robots, we can't use this Scratch programming language, right? So actually there are some options, there are some toys which you can program by yourselves using Scratch, right? But as of now, when it comes to creating a robot, by using this interface, we can't create any actual robots, right? So actually there's a separate class conducted in CTech, which shows you how you can create robots as well, right? But in this class, we are going to show you how you can create programs, right? Because by doing so, you can learn the core concepts you need to know when it comes to becoming a programmer, right? Okay. Right. Okay. So now tell me, did everybody get this output? So now everybody have these 4 code loops, right? So now our character is moving around our screen, right? Okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to have another character in your stage, right? So now we have this cat. Now in addition to this cat, I want to have another character in my stage, right? So what I'm going to do is, so now you know how to add a different character, right? So go to this, choose a sprite, right? And then click on the search icon. So in my case, again, I'm going to select another, we'll see, what should I select? Not an animal. I'm going to select a food. Okay, so we'll see cats like, okay, so I'm going to say this cat likes donut, right? So I'm going to select this donut. Okay, so in my stage, now I have this donut, right? So at the same time, you noticed my code blocks are now gone, right? So previously there were some code blocks in my workspace, but now these code blocks are gone, right? Okay, so I will give you some time. So select another sprite from here and tell me this image you selected. So now I have a cat, a flying cat, and a donut on my stage. So select another sprite and tell me your selection.
Sir, selected ball.
You selected ball, right? Okay, so there are several balls. Which ball? Is it a baseball or a basketball? Ah, this ball, right? Okay.
The ping pong ball.
Okay, right. I just saw that. Okay, Tarun selected ball. So what about other two? So what are your choices? Rion and Ronsetu? You can select any image you want. It's just a matter of selecting the one you like the most.
Sir, I take briefing. Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Okay. Run.
I briefing.
Okay. Ransidu. So Ransidu, what is it?
I got griefing. Griefing.
Griffin.
The animal of
In the animals. Yes. Griffin.
fantasy.
Ah, okay. This image, right? Griffin.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay. That's a good choice. Okay. What about Rion? Rion, what did you choose?
I didn't choose anything yet.
Okay. There are so many choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Try to select a character, a symbol quickly, image. So Tarul already selected this ball, this one, and then Ransitu selected this griffin. So where's the griffin? Okay, griffin is here, right? Okay, so you can take your time and select whatever the character you like the most, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my stage. So at the same time, now you can see I have these two characters, but no code segments are available in here, right? So you might be wondering what happened to those code blocks, right? So let me tell you what happened. So actually your codes are not deleted yet, right? So you don't have to worry about deleting these things, right? So they are only hidden, right? So if you look down in here, so now I'm drawing a boundary around it. Now you can see there are the two characters available in our stages there, right? The cat flying, and then we have our donut, right? So by looking at here, you can see current the selected character is donut, right? Not the cat, right? So what I'm going to do is, if I click on this cat flying, watch what happens. Okay, suddenly our code is back on our screen, right? So this happens when you add new characters to your stage, right? Because when you add a new character, automatically Scratch is going to select the newest member on the stage, right? So that's why suddenly our code disappeared, right? But you can see when I click on this cat flying, all my code is there, right? So at the same time, you have two ways to figure out what is the character you have selected as of now, right? So in here you can see when this cat is selected, you can see there's a light blue boundary around this cat, right? So that means my cat is selected, and at the same time you can see the image of the cat is available in here as well, right? So can you see this image? So in your cases, you might have a bat or you might have a dog, right? So whatever the character you have selected in here will be available in here, right? So if I select this donut,
Sir, excuse me, sir.
yes, Rion.
I chose Dinosaur.
Mhm.
2.
So you selected dinosaur.
2. Number 2. This
Right.
Triceratops.
So now both of your characters are available on this stage?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now you can see when I select this other character, the one I added into my stage as the second step, this donut, you can see when I select this one, previously in here there was a cat, but now it is a donut, right? So whatever, so when you click on these images, so in your cases, these two characters are different, right? So in my case, I have a cat flying and a donut, but in your programs, you have two different characters. So when you click on those two characters, you can see your image is going to change in here, right? Okay. So previously Tharul showed us a game, right? So we'll try to create something like that as well, right? But
So I made another one. Shall I show you?
right, Tharul. So we'll wait. Okay. So definitely I need to look at that one as well, right? So I will give you a chance to show it to all of us at the end of this session, right? So definitely I need to look at that one as well, right,
Okay,
Tharul?
sir.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. So tell me, have any one of you played a game called Flappy Bird? Have you played that game? Anyone heard of it?
Is it in Scratch?
Uh, so actually that was a mobile phone game actually. Have you seen it? I'm just asking. If you
No,
haven't
sir.
seen it, no problem. Right. Okay. So have you seen Mario then? There was a game called Mario. Have you seen it?
Sir, I'm not played it, but I heard.
You have heard it, right? Okay. So actually, what I'm planning to do next is I am planning to create a game actually, right? So actually, I think Tarul have created some games as well using the tutorials, right? So Ransitu and Rion, what I want you to do is, so when you come to in the next week, I want you to do the same things we have done in this class, right? In this class, actually, we did these 4 things. So since this is our first day, I'm not going to show you some advanced things we can do using Scratch, right? So don't think since this is a very simple programming language, we can do only simple things, right? So even though this Scratch is designed for kids, still we can create so many creative things using this Scratch. Still, this is a programming language, right? We can create so many complex things in our stage using this Scratch. But today I'm not going to do any of those things because since this is our first day, right? So that's the main reason I'm not going to do anything hard, right? But definitely starting from next week, we are going to move on to doing some hard exercises, right? So today itself, actually what we did was we simply created this character and then now it is reacting to our keyboard inputs, right? And then we added this new character, another. So in my case, it was a donut, right? So that is all we did today. But in the next week, we are going to do some more stuff, right? So definitely by the end of next week, we are going to create and finish a game, right? So in that game, this cat is going to be there and definitely this donut is also going to be there, right? So we'll see how we can create that game in the next week, right? So before I move on, before we finish today's session, so actually we have about 20 minutes, right? So since we have a little bit of time, I'm going to show you how you can add a background in here, right? So I think I saw some of you have
So
already
I know how
created.
to.
Yes, that's good. That's awesome actually. So if you have done that, then that is so good, right? So for others, I will just show you how you can select a background for your stage. right? Because as you can see, currently we have nothing in our stage. It is just a plain white background, right? So this is kind of boring, right? So because of that, if I want to change this background into something else, what I can do
Sir,
is,
sir, excuse me, sir.
yes, Rion.
Excuse me, sir. I know how to change it. In the first day, I tried this.
Yes,
Choose
actually
a
the first,
backdrop.
yes, that's how you can do it. So actually, if you move your cursor to this right hand bottom, you can see there's another button called choose a backdrop, right?
Backdrop.
Again, it is kind of similar to this choose a sprite, right? Kind of similar, right? You have the same options. So when you go to this button and when you click on the search icon, you can see it's going to give you a lot of background to select, right? So I think in the Tarul's example, you have selected this beach Malibu, right? So if I'm correct. So in addition to those, you have so many backgrounds to choose from in here, right? So many backgrounds. So just for fun, let me quickly select something. Okay, so I'm going to select this plain wall one in here. So can you guys tell me what are your favorites? So in my case, I'm going to select this plain brick.
So for second I choose the neon wall.
Okay, so Tarul's favorite is neon wall. So we'll see what that is. Neon
Tunnel.
neon tunnel. Ah, right. Okay. Tarul's selection is neon tunnel. So what about others? Rion and Ransidu? What about your choices? So Tarul's favorite is neon tunnel. So I selected this wall one. So what about you guys? So actually it is hard to select one from this collection, right? Because there are so many options. Okay, Rion left, right? Okay, Ransidu is there. Ransidu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I think Tarul have created something, isn't it? Okay, Tarul. So now you can share your screen and show us what you have done. I think,
Okay.
yeah, okay, right. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Okay, you have created another some sort of a game, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, that is so interesting. Sorry? Right. Okay. Okay, so when the ball hits the bottom, game over, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, Tarul, that's good. Okay, Ransitu, in the next week, actually, we are going to create a game like that one as well, right? So actually, in the next week, before we start the session, I will show you the game itself, and then I will show you how you can create that game, right? Ransitu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So definitely in the next week, we'll create a new game, something similar to this, right? So definitely it's going to be interesting as well. So we'll change it. Yes, we'll create a different game on the next week, right? Okay. So since this is our first day, we'll wind up this session from this point, right? So next week, from the start of this session, we have so much work to do, right? Because we need to create a game from the start and we need to finish our game as well, right? Okay, everybody. So we'll meet on then on the next week, right? Tarul, Ransitu.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay. So then we'll meet on the next week. Until then, right. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.